The floor collapsed beneath me. I fell through fire and darkness, crashing through burning timber and shattered glass. My body slammed into something hard. Pain exploded through my ribs. I couldn't breathe. The smoke was so thick I couldn't see my own hands. Above me, I could hear them screaming. 2 children, trapped on the 3rd floor of a building that was about to collapse. I tried to move. My left leg wouldn't respond. I looked down and saw the steel beam pinning me to the floor. Blood was pooling around my knee. The heat was unbearable. My skin was blistering inside my gear. I could hear the building groaning, creaking, dying. 2:47 a.m. March 23, 2023. Downtown Chicago. I had maybe 90 seconds before the entire structure came down. The radio on my shoulder crackled. Thompson, get out now. The building's not stable. I reached for the radio. My hand was shaking. I can't, I whispered. The kids are still up there. Then the radio went dead. And the screaming stopped. What happened in the next 8 minutes defies explanation. The fire marshal said the building should have collapsed in under 2 minutes. The doctors said my injuries should have killed me before I ever made it out. My captain said I did the impossible. But here's the truth they don't know. I didn't save those kids. Something else did. Someone else did. I'm not a religious man. Never have been. But what I experienced in that fire changed everything I thought I knew about life, death, and what's really out there protecting us. Hit subscribe because this story is going to show you that miracles are real. That even when you've given up on God, He hasn't given up on you. The burn specialist who treated me said I shouldn't be alive. The structural engineer said the building's collapse pattern was impossible. I just know that I went into that fire ready to die. And something wouldn't let me. My name is Jake Robert Thompson. I'm 38 years old. Firefighter with the Chicago Fire Department, Engine Company 57. I grew up on the South Side, raised by a single dad after my mom left when I was 5. My dad died of a heart attack 3 years ago, and I've been struggling ever since. I never believed in God, prayer, or any of that. My dad used to say, "We save ourselves, Jake. That's all we got." This happened on March 23, 2023 at 2:34 a.m. when we got the call about a 4-story apartment building fully engulfed in flames. By 2:47, I was trapped inside with 2 kids I'd never met. By 2:55, I was supposed to be dead. But I'm sitting here telling you this story. And that's when everything changed. I remember the day my life started falling apart. It was 6 months before the fire, September 14, 2022. I was sitting in my apartment, holding the eviction notice in my hand. The paper was shaking because my hands were shaking. 30 days to pay $4,200 in back rent or get out. I didn't have $4,200. I didn't even have $200. My ex-wife had cleaned out our joint account when she left, taking our daughter Maya with her. The divorce had cost me everything. The house, the savings, my relationship with my 7-year-old daughter who now lived in Phoenix with a man she called Dad. I was working overtime every week, pulling double shifts, but the money just disappeared. Lawyer fees, child support, debt. I'd started drinking to cope. Just a beer or 2 after shifts. Then it became a 6-pack. Then it became whatever would make me forget. My captain, Mike Reeves, pulled me aside one day in October. "Jake, you smell like a distillery," he said. "You okay?" "I'm fine." "You're not fine. You're showing up late. You're sloppy on calls. This isn't you." I said, "I'm fine, Mike." He looked at me for a long moment. "Your dad would be disappointed." That hit me like a punch to the gut. My dad, Daniel Thompson, 28 years with the CFD before a heart attack took him at 62. He'd been my hero, the reason I became a firefighter. He always said, "This job is about saving lives, not taking them. You go in, you get them out, you come home. Not today, death. Not today. Not today." That was his motto. I'd heard him say it 100 times. Standing over someone he'd pulled from a wreck. Carrying a kid out of a burning building. Always the same words. "Not today, death. Not today. But I'd forgotten those words. I'd forgotten everything he taught me. I was just surviving. Barely. My relationship with my daughter was non-existent. Maya would call every Sunday and I'd be too drunk or too depressed to answer. My brother Tom stopped inviting me to family dinners because I'd show up drunk and angry. I was alone. Completely alone. Drowning in debt, alcohol, and regret. I should have seen the warning signs. I should have asked for help. But I didn't. I just kept spiraling. The first incident happened on November 3rd, 2022. We responded to a car accident on the Dan Ryan Expressway. 3-car pileup. 1 fatality. 2 critical. I was supposed to use the jaws of life to extract a woman trapped in the driver's seat of a crushed Honda. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely grip the equipment. "Thompson, what the hell?" my partner Davis shouted. "You're gonna drop it." I steadied myself. Focused. Got the job done. But afterward in the truck, Davis confronted me. "You hungover?" "No." "Don't lie to me. I can smell it." "I had a couple beers last night." "I'm fine." "A couple beers doesn't make your hands shake like that." I looked away. My stomach was churning. I'd actually had half a bottle of whiskey at 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. Because Maya had called and I'd missed it. Because her voicemail said, "Daddy, why don't you ever answer? Don't you love me anymore?" I told myself it was just stress. That I'd cut back. That I had it under control. But I didn't know what was coming next. The second incident was worse. December 18th, 2022. House fire in Inglewood. Family of 4 trapped inside. We got the parents and 1 kid out. But there was a baby still inside. 6 months old. In a back bedroom. Captain Reeves sent me in. I made it to the bedroom. Found the crib. Grabbed the baby. She wasn't breathing. I ran outside, started CPR. 30 compressions. 2 breaths. 30 compressions. 2 breaths. Nothing. The paramedics took over. They worked on her for 12 minutes. She didn't make it. I sat in the ambulance afterward, staring at my hands. Hands that had held a dead baby. Hands that couldn't save her. Davis found me there an hour later. "Jake, it wasn't your fault. The smoke inhalation was too severe. She was already gone. I was too slow." "No, you weren't. I was too slow." I punched the inside of the ambulance. My knuckles split open. Blood dripped onto the floor. Davis grabbed my arm. "Get it together, man. This job eats people alive if you let it." "Maybe I should let it." He stared at me. "What did you say?" I didn't answer. I just walked away. That night, I sat in my apartment with a loaded gun. My dad's service revolver. The one the department had given him when he retired. I put it on the table in front of me. Stared at it for 3 hours. Thinking about how easy it would be. 1 pull of the trigger. All the pain gone. All the failure erased. But I couldn't do it. Not because I was brave. Because I was a coward. Too afraid to live. Too afraid to die. I put the gun away. Drank myself to sleep instead. The third incident was the breaking point. January 9th, 2023. I showed up to work drunk. Not tipsy. Drunk. I'd been up all night drinking because it was Maya's 8th birthday and I'd forgot to call her. My ex-wife sent me a text at 11 p.m. "You're a pathetic excuse for a father." She was right. Captain Reeves smelled the alcohol the second I walked into the station. "Thompson." "My office." "Now." I followed him. Sat down. Avoided his eyes. "How much have you had to drink?" "I'm fine." "HOW?" "Much." "I don't know." "A few." He slammed his hand on the desk. "You're going to get someone killed. You understand that? You or someone else or both." "I'm sorry." "Sorry doesn't cut it. You're suspended. 2 weeks. Unpaid. And you're going to AA or you're fired. Your choice." I stood up. Walked out. Didn't say a word. For 2 weeks I sat in my apartment, drinking and hating myself. I went to 1 AA meeting. Sat in the back. Listened to people share their stories of rock bottom. I left halfway through. I wasn't ready. I wasn't willing. I was just empty. But I didn't know what she was hiding. Then came the night that changed everything. I went back to work on January 24th. Sober. For the first time in months, I was actually sober. Not because I found God or had some revelation. Because I was out of money and couldn't afford alcohol anymore. Captain Reeves pulled me aside. You good? Yeah. I mean it, Jake. Are you good? I looked him in the eye. I'm trying, Mike. I'm really trying. He nodded. That's all I ask. One day at a time. For 2 months I stayed clean. Went to work. Came home. Slept. Repeat. I started calling Maya every Sunday. At first she didn't want to talk to me. My ex would answer and say she's busy. But I kept calling. Eventually Maya picked up. Hi, Daddy. Her voice was so small. So hesitant. Hey, baby girl. I miss you. Do you really? The question broke my heart. Yes. Every single day. Then why did you leave? I didn't leave, sweetheart. Mommy and we couldn't live together anymore. But you left me. She was crying. I'm sorry, Maya. I'm so sorry. We talked for 20 minutes. It wasn't much, but it was a start. I started seeing a therapist. A guy named Dr. Richard Coleman. Late 50s. Calm voice. Patient eyes. Why are you here, Jake? He asked in our first session. Because I'm broken. What broke you? Everything. Losing my wife. Losing my daughter. Losing my dad. Failing at this job. All of it. Do you want to be fixed? I thought about it. I don't know if I can be. That's not what I asked. Yeah. I want to be fixed. Then let's start. We met every Thursday for 8 weeks. Talked about my childhood. My dad. My marriage. My drinking. My depression. It helped. Not a lot. But enough to keep going. Then came March 22nd, 2023. I was at the station cleaning equipment. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But something told me to pick up. Hello. Is this Jake Thompson? Yeah. Who is this? This is Linda Marsh. I'm a social worker with DCFS. My heart dropped. Is Maya okay? Maya's fine. But I'm calling about your ex-wife. Jennifer was arrested last night for DUI. With Maya in the car. I felt like I'd been punched. What? She's being held pending a court date. We need to place Maya with a family member. Are you able to take her? Yes. Absolutely yes. Can you come to Phoenix tomorrow? I'll be there tonight. I hung up. Told Captain Reeves I needed emergency leave. He didn't ask questions. Just said go. Do what you need to do. I booked a flight for 6 p.m. But at 2:34 a.m. before I could leave, the call came in. 4-story apartment building. Fully engulfed. Multiple residents trapped. All hands on deck. I looked at my watch. My flight was in 15 hours. I can sit this one out, I told Reeves. We need everyone, Jake. It's bad. I thought about Maya. About finally getting her back. About being the dad she deserved. Then I thought about my dad. About what he'd do. Not today, Death, I whispered. What? Reeves asked. Nothing. Let's go. I climbed into the truck. We raced toward the fire. I had no idea I was racing toward my own death. We arrived at 2:41 a.m. The building was a monster. Flames shooting out of every window. Black smoke billowing into the night sky. I could feel the heat from 50 feet away. People were screaming. Hanging out of windows. Begging for help. There are kids inside, a woman screamed. She was on the sidewalk, bloody and burned. Where? Reeves shouted. 3rd floor. Apartment 3C. My babies. Please. Reeves looked at me. At Davis. Thompson, Davis, you're up. Get those kids. We geared up. SCBA masks. Axes. Flashlights. I could taste metal in my mouth. Fear. The building groaned as we approached. The front door was already open, blown out by the heat. Inside was hell. Flames crawling up the walls. Smoke so thick I couldn't see 2 feet in front of me. The air was screaming hot even through my gear. We found the stairs. Started climbing. The heat intensified with every step. First floor. Second floor. Third floor. The hallway was an inferno. Apartment 3C was at the end. We moved fast. Low to the ground. Feeling our way through the smoke. I could hear crying. Faint. Behind a door. Here I shouted. Davis kicked the door. It didn't budge. I swung my axe. Once. Twice. The door splintered. Gave way. We burst inside. The apartment was fully engulfed. Every piece of furniture on fire. The walls were black. The ceiling was dripping. KIDS. Where are you? A small voice. Help. I followed the sound. A bedroom. I pushed through the doorway. 2 children were huddled in the corner. A girl maybe 6 years old. A boy maybe 4. They were coughing. Faces black with soot. Eyes wide with terror. I got you, I said. You're safe now. I grabbed the girl. Davis grabbed the boy. We turned to leave. That's when I heard it. A sound like thunder. The building was collapsing. Run, Davis screamed. We ran. But we were too slow. The ceiling came down. A beam caught Davis in the shoulder. He went down hard. Dropped the boy. Davis. I grabbed the boy with my free arm. Now I had both kids. One under each arm. Davis was pinned. Gio, he shouted. Get them out. I'm not leaving you. Gio, Jake. That's an order. Another beam fell. Missed me by inches. The floor was shaking. Buckling. I had to choose. Save the kids. Or save Davis. I couldn't save both. I looked at Davis. He nodded. Not today, brother. Get those kids home. I ran. The floor gave way behind me. I heard Davis scream. Then nothing. I made it to the hallway. The stairs were gone. Collapsed. No way down. I looked around frantically. A window. I ran to it. Kicked it out. Looked down. 3 stories. Fire truck ladder was extending toward us. But it wasn't there yet. The kids were coughing. Struggling to breathe. The smoke was too much. I ripped off my mask. Put it on the girl. Breathe, sweetheart. Just breathe. The boy went limp in my arms. No. No, no, no. Stay with me, buddy. I tried to give him mouth to mouth. The smoke was in my lungs. Burning. Choking me. I couldn't breathe. Everything was spinning. The ladder reached the window. A firefighter climbed up. Hand me the KIDS. I gave him the girl. Then the boy. He disappeared down the ladder. I tried to follow. The floor collapsed. I fell. I crashed through fire and darkness. My body slammed into the second floor. Pain exploded everywhere. My leg. My ribs. My back. I tried to move. Couldn't. Something was pinning me. I looked down. A steel beam across my left leg. Blood everywhere. I tried to push it off. It wouldn't budge. The fire was all around me. Eating through the walls. The floor. Everything. I reached for my radio. This is Thompson. I'm trapped. Second floor. I need help. Static. This is TH1PSON. Does anyone copy? Nothing. The radio was dead. Or I was in a dead zone. Either way, no one was coming. I was alone. The heat was unbearable. I could feel my skin blistering. Smell my own flesh burning. The pain was beyond description. I screamed. Not for help. Just from the agony. The building groaned. More ceiling tiles fell. The beam across my leg shifted. The pain intensified. I felt something warm running down my face. Blood. Or sweat. Probably both. My vision was blurring. Smoke inhalation. Blood loss. Shock. I was dying. I thought about Davis. About how I left him. About how he told me to go. He was dead. I knew it. Crushed under debris. Burned alive. Because I couldn't save him. Just like I couldn't save that baby. Just like I couldn't save my marriage. Just like I couldn't save myself. I'm sorry, I whispered. To Davis. To my dad. To Maya. I'm so sorry. The building shook. Another section collapsed. I could hear sirens outside. Voices shouting. But they sounded far away. Like I was underwater. I closed my eyes. This is it. This is how I die. Alone in a burning building. Exactly like I deserved. But that wasn't the worst part. I thought about Maya. About how I'd finally gotten the chance to be her dad again. And I was going to die before I could see her. She'd grow up thinking I'd abandoned her again. That I'd chosen this job over her. That I didn't love her enough to stay alive. The tears came then. Hot and fast. Mixing with the blood and soot on my face. I'm sorry, baby girl, I sobbed. I'm so sorry. I thought about my ex-wife. How she'd been right about me. Pathetic. Useless. A failure. She'd tell me I died a hero. But I wasn't a hero. Heroes don't leave their partners behind. Heroes don't show up to work drunk. Heroes don't give up. I'd given up. A long time ago. This was just the final surrender. The beam across my leg shifted again. Something snapped. My femur. I felt it break. The pain was so intense I couldn't even scream. I just gasped, choking on smoke and agony. My heartbeat was slowing. I could feel it. Getting weaker. Slower. Fading. This is what death feels like. Quiet. Lonely. Cold. Even surrounded by fire, I felt cold. My hands were numb. My feet were numb. Everything was numb. I stared up at the burning ceiling. At the fire dancing across the beams. It was almost beautiful. In a horrible way. I started laughing. Not because anything was funny. Because it was all so absurd. My whole life. Every choice. Every mistake. All leading to this moment. Pinned under a beam. Burning alive. Alone. The laughter turned to coughing. Then to crying. Then to nothing. I just lay there. Waiting. Accepting. I don't know how long I sat there. Could have been minutes. Could have been hours. Time stopped meaning anything. Everything went numb. That's when I heard it. A voice. Clear. Calm. Cutting through the roar of the fire. Not today. I opened my eyes. Looked around. No one was there. Just flames and smoke. Not today, son. There it was again. Closer. I knew that voice. Dad. I thought I was hallucinating. Dying brain. Oxygen deprivation. But then I saw him. My father. Daniel Thompson. Standing in front of me. In full gear. Exactly as I remembered him. Dad, you're dead. He smiled. That same smile I'd seen 1,000 times. I know. This isn't real. Does it matter? He knelt beside me. Examined the beam. This is bad, Jake. I know. But not impossible. I can't move it. Not alone. But you're not alone. He stood. Put his hands on the beam. On 3. 1, 2, 3. I pushed. He pulled. The beam moved. Just an inch. But it moved. That shouldn't have been possible. It was 1,000-pound steel. I was broken and dying. But it moved. Again, my dad said. 1, 2, 3. We pushed. The beam shifted more. My leg was free. I pulled it out. Looked at it. The bone was shattered. Compound fracture. Blood everywhere. Can you stand? My dad asked. No. Yes, you can. You're a Thompson. We don't quit. I'm not strong enough. You are. You just forgot. He reached down. Grabbed my hand. I felt it. Warm. Solid. Real. He pulled me up. Pain shot through my leg. I screamed. But I was standing. On one leg. Leaning on my dad. Now walk. I can't. You walked into this building to save those kids. Now walk out for yours. Maya. I thought about her face. Her voice. Daddy, why don't you ever answer? I had to answer. I had to live. I took one step. Fire exploded through my broken leg. I nearly collapsed. My dad held me up. Again. Another step. Good. Keep going. If you are still here watching this video, type good, comment, like, share, and subscribe, and I will pick a winner for video. I will give shout out and pray for God for this person who commented. Step. 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 We made it to a doorway. Through it was a stairwell. Still intact. Barely. Down we go, my dad said. Dad, I don't think. Not today, Jake. Not today. We started down. One step at a time. I was using my dad and the railing. Hopping on my good leg. Dragging the broken one. First floor landing. I could see the exit. 50 feet away. Flames were between us and the door. A wall of fire. We can't get through that, I said. My dad looked at me. Do you trust me? You're dead. Do you trust me? I thought about all the times he'd saved people. All the times he'd faced fire and won. Yeah. I trust you. Then close your eyes and walk. What? Close your eyes. And walk. I'll guide you. This was insane. But what did I have to lose? I closed my eyes. Felt my dad's hand on my shoulder. Forward. I walked. Into the fire. I should have felt heat. Should have felt pain. But I didn't. I felt nothing. Just my dad's hand. Guiding me. Keep going. 10 steps. 15. 20. Okay. Open your eyes. I opened them. I was through. The fire was behind me. The exit was right in front of me. I turned around. My dad was on the other side of the flames. Dad. He smiled. You're going to be okay, son. Come with me. I can't. But I'll always be with you. Dad, please. Tell Maya I love her. And that you love her. Every single day. I will. And Jake. Yeah. Not today, Death. Not today. The building collapsed behind him. He disappeared into the fire and smoke. I stumbled out the exit. I collapsed on the sidewalk. Firefighters rushed toward me. THOMPSON. Oh my God, we thought you were dead. They pulled me away from the building. Seconds later, the entire structure came down. If I'd been inside for 5 more seconds, I'd have been crushed. Paramedics swarmed me. Multiple burns. Compound fracture left femur. Possible internal bleeding. Get HIM on the gurney. They lifted me. Started an IV. Oxygen mask. I grabbed one of them. The kids, my voice was barely a whisper. Safe. Both alive. You saved them. Thank God. Davis. The paramedic's face fell. I'm sorry. I closed my eyes. Davis was gone. Just like I knew. How did you get out? Captain Reeves was there, looking at me with tears in his eyes. The beam was on your leg. We saw it on thermal. You shouldn't have been able to move it. My dad helped me. Your dad's been dead for 3 years, Jake. I know. They loaded me into the ambulance. As we pulled away, I looked back at the burning building. At the ruins. I swear I saw him. My dad. Standing in the rubble. Smiling. Then he was gone. At the hospital, they rushed me into surgery. The orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Patricia Vance, worked on my leg for 7 hours. When I woke up, I was in the ICU. Machines beeping. Tubes everywhere. Captain Reeves was sitting beside my bed. Welcome back, he said. How bad? Your leg's shattered. They put in 3 pins and a rod. You'll walk again, but probably not fight fires. I nodded. I'd expected that. The kids. Released this morning. Minor smoke inhalation. They're going to be fine because of you. And Davis. Reeves looked down. We recovered his body this morning. He didn't suffer. The collapse killed him instantly. I started crying. Reeves put his hand on my shoulder. He saved those kids too, Jake. He told you to go. He made the choice. I should have saved him. You couldn't. You saved yourself and 2 children. That's not nothing. A doctor came in an hour later. Dr. Michael Brennan, head of the burn unit. Mr. Thompson, I need to talk to you about your injuries. Okay. You have second and degree burns over 15% of your body. Mostly your hands and neck. He paused. You should be dead. The thermal imaging showed you were in temperatures exceeding 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Your gear is rated for maybe 500 degrees for a limited time. But I'm alive. Yes. And I can't explain why. Your gear was melted in places. But the burns underneath are far less severe than they should be. What are you saying? I'm saying something protected you in there. I don't know what. But it wasn't your equipment. Later that night, alone in my room, I thought about what he said. About my dad. About the voice. About walking through fire and feeling nothing. I thought about the repeated phrase. Not today. My dad's words. His motto. The thing he said every time he saved someone. He'd said it to me. In that building. Not today, death. Not today. 3 days later, I was moved to a regular room. I could have visitors. Captain Reeves came first. Brought the whole crew. They stood around my bed, awkward and emotional. You're a legend, Thompson, one of them said. I'm not. You are. The news is calling you a miracle. I looked at Reeves. Can I ask you something? Anything. Do you believe in God? He thought about it. Yeah. I do. Why? Because I've seen too many things I can't explain. People who should be dead but aren't. Timing that's too perfect to be coincidence. Moments like yours. I saw my dad. The room went quiet. In the building. He helped me move the beam. Guided me out through the fire. No one laughed. No one said I was crazy. They just nodded. I believe you, Reeves said quietly. 2 days later, my ex-wife brought Maya. I hadn't seen her in 8 months. She walked into the room slowly, holding her mom's hand. When she saw me bandaged, broken in a hospital bed, she started crying. Daddy. She ran to me, climbed carefully onto the bed, wrapped her arms around me. I thought you died, she sobbed. I almost did, baby girl. But I couldn't. Not yet. Why? Because I have to be your dad. And I've been doing a really bad job of it. She looked up at me. You're not a bad dad. Yes, I am. But I'm going to be better. I promise. My ex-wife stood at the foot of the bed. The social worker called. Drop the charges. I'm doing rehab. Getting my life together. That's good, Jen. And when you get out of here, if you want, Maya can stay with you. For a while. Until I'm better. I looked at Maya. Would you want that? She nodded. I want to live with you, Daddy. I started crying. Okay. Okay, we'll make it work. After they left, I sat there in silence. Thinking about everything that had happened. About how I'd been ready to die. About how something wouldn't let me. Someone. My dad. God. The universe. Whatever you want to call it. I'd been saved. Not just from the fire. But from myself. From the darkness I'd been living in. I'd been given a second chance. And I wasn't going to waste it. After that night, everything changed. 6 weeks later, I was released from the hospital. I couldn't walk without crutches. Couldn't do much of anything on my own. But Maya moved in with me the next day. My brother Tom helped convert his guest room into a bedroom for her. Pink walls. Her favorite stuffed animals. Pictures we'd taken when she was little. It wasn't perfect. But it was home. The fire department put me on medical leave with full pay while I recovered. Workers' comp covered the hospital bills. The union set up a fund for Davis's family that raised over $200,000. I went to his funeral on April 2nd. Stood in my dress blues on crutches while they folded the flag. His wife, Michelle, looked at me when they handed it to her. I expected anger. Blame. Instead, she hugged me. "He loved you like a brother," she whispered. "He'd be glad you made it out." I started going to therapy twice a week instead of once. Dr. Coleman helped me work through the survivor's guilt, the PTSD from the fire, the grief over losing Davis. "You're carrying a lot, Jake," he said in one session. "But you don't have to carry it alone. I feel like I should have died instead of him. But you didn't. And there's a reason for that." "What reason?" "That little girl living with you. She's your reason." He was right. Maya became my purpose. Every morning I'd make her breakfast, pack her lunch, walk her to the bus stop on crutches. Every night we'd have dinner together, talk about her day, watch movies, read books. I'd tuck her in and tell her I loved her. Every single night. For the first time in 3 years, I was sober. Not because I was trying, because I didn't need it anymore. The emptiness was filled. I used to think strength meant never needing help. Now I know strength means asking for it when you do. I used to think faith was for people who couldn't face reality. Now I know faith is what gets you through reality when it's too hard to face alone. I used to think I was alone in that building. Now I know I wasn't. My dad was there. Maybe not physically. Maybe just in my memory. Or maybe something more. I don't know. I don't need to know. I just know that in my darkest moment, when I'd given up completely, something pulled me back. Someone whispered, "Not today." And I listened. You don't have to believe in God. I didn't for most of my life. But I'm telling you, there's something out there. Something bigger than the fire. Bigger than the pain. Bigger than the darkness we sometimes fall into. And when you cry out, even if you don't believe, even if you've never prayed in your life, it hears you. It answers. Not always the way you expect. Not always the way you want. But it answers. Davis died in that fire. That's the reality. But 2 children lived. And I lived. And because I lived, Maya has her dad back. That's not random. That's not luck. That's grace. I'm sitting on my back porch right now. It's early morning. The sun's just coming up over the Chicago skyline. I can hear Maya in the kitchen making herself cereal. She's 9 now. She lives with me full time. Her mom got clean, got a job, and we co-parent like we should have done from the start. I make coffee every morning at 6 a.m. Then I sit out here for 30 minutes before Maya wakes up. Just thinking, praying, thanking whatever's out there that I'm still here. I still go to therapy every week. I still go to AA meetings, even though I haven't had a drink in over a year. I help other firefighters who are struggling with PTSD, addiction, and the weight of this job. I tell them my story. About the fire. About my dad. About how I was saved. Some believe it. Some don't. That's okay. I know what I experienced. Last month, I went back to the site where the building stood. It's just an empty lot now. Cleared and fenced off. I stood there for an hour. Just remembering. And I swear I felt a hand on my shoulder. Warm. Solid. Familiar. I turned around. No one was there. But I knew. My dad's still with me. Every day. In every choice I make. In every moment I choose life over death. In every time I tell Maya I love her. He's there. And I'm grateful. Some people get a second chance. I got mine at 2:47 a.m. on March 23, 2023, when I should have died in a burning building. Not today, death. Not today. Have you ever been at rock bottom and felt something pull you back? A voice you couldn't explain. A moment of grace when you didn't deserve it. A second chance you never thought you'd get. Type Amen in the comments if this story moved you. Share it with someone who's struggling right now. Someone who needs to hear that it's not over. That there's still hope. Next week, I'm sharing what happened when I met the 2 children I saved. What they told me. And how they changed my life forever. Thanks for listening to my story. And remember, whatever you're going through, whatever fire you're trapped in, you're not alone. Someone's listening. Someone's watching. Someone's whispering, not today. You just have to listen. God bless you.